Alright, we have a rare one-for-one type trade here between the Montreal Canadiens and the Dallas Stars. Montreal is trading Evgeny DADANOV to the Dallas Stars in exchange for Denis Gurianov. Both are Russian forwards who have had their respective struggles on their teams. DADANOV may be more well known. He's 33 years old, drafted in the 3rd round back in 2007, while we have Denis Gurianov, who's way younger. He's 25 years old and was drafted in the 1st round of the 2015 NHL entry draft. In DADANOV, the Stars are getting a veteran, which will add a lot of experience to their group as they prepare to make a deep run into the postseason. Montreal, on the other hand, is going into a rebuild and are now starting to put the older guys on the trade block. You know, Anderson, Hoffman, and of course DADANOV, so it's good they got rid of him. But they now get Denis Gurianov in exchange, and this is good for them because he's a guy who has succeeded at the NHL level in the past. Montreal also seems to be retaining half of DADANOV's salary, so he now carries a $2.5 million cap hit with the Stars, which makes sense because the Stars are kinda in a cap crunch. The reason I like this trade a lot is because of the timing. I mean, the timing of this was perfect. DADANOV should not be wasting his last years in the NHL just playing for rebuilding teams. He should certainly be out there helping contenders who are very close to cup contention win the Stanley Cup. He's not going to be an asset if Stars fans are wondering. I mean, he only has 18 points on the year in 50 games, so he's certainly not an offensive addition, rather a veteran voice in the locker room, which always helps, and a depth piece for the Stars' bottom 6. Let's just also note that he had 43 points in 78 games with the Vegas Golden Knights last year, which was somewhat of a veteran team, so there's a high probability that he can help Dallas in a similar fashion. On the other hand, we have Denis Gurianov, and while his departure from the Lone Star State could not have come at a better time. Gurianov has struggled in recent times with the Stars as he went from an average 30-point player for 3 consecutive seasons to just 9 points in 43 games this year. He's had a really rough season, and I think a change of scenery where he'll get more attention can help. Again, he's only 25 years old, and the average age of the Dallas Stars is 28, so there's a really good reason why he's getting moved out. I think there's still a chance he can turn around, as if we remember his postseason run back in the 2019-2020 season, he was lights out. He had 17 points in 27 games with Dallas in the bubble, including that series-winning goal against Vegas to send the Stars to the Stanley Cup Finals. With the direction Dallas is heading in, adding DADANOV to the bottom 6 will certainly help the Stars for that final stretch, as I see him on the 3rd line with Mason Marchment and Tyler Seguin, and I think that line could definitely do some potential damage, knowing how Seguin can pretty much turn around at any given time, and Marchment, well, he had a good year last year, so maybe he can replicate that this year. We can also see DADANOV on the 2nd unit power play, as he's been known to be a good playmaker in the past. Now, going back to Gurianov, we've already mentioned how the 1st round pick back in 2015 has had his struggles in Dallas, and I think me showing the stats made that very clear, right? But as with all players who get traded, things can change when you get a fresh start. The Habs roster is nowhere near as strong as the Stars roster, given their injuries and rebuild, so that should give Gurianov multiple chances to prove his worth to the Canadiens and see whether or not he's worthy of staying there for the next few years, as he's a restricted free agent this summer. He could work very well with guys like Mike Hoffman and Jonathan Drouin on that 2nd line. And despite people's comments on him this year, he's still able to produce at an NHL level. He's done it in the past and in very recent seasons. He had 31 points in 73 games last year, which is obviously not bad. He had 30 points in 55 games the year before, not bad. And of course in 2019-2020, that was his breakthrough year, so he hasn't really been all that bad in recent times. Not to mention once again that he's only 25 years old, so there's definitely a reason to believe that he can get his career back on track. At the end of the day, this is certainly a trade that helps both teams. The Stars get more veteran presence to help push themselves towards a deep playoff run, therefore he improves the roster immediately. This will be the case, especially if DADANOV increases his production to his past levels. But as much as I praise the Stars, I think it's fair to say that the Canadiens get a bite out of this win pie as well. They get a guy with previous success who's still young and can be part of their young culture. I think Ken Hughes and company are in a position where they're willing to take chances on players like Denis Gurianov. Only time will tell how this trade ends up. However, if I had to pick an immediate winner, it's the Stars, no doubt. DADANOV has just proved more in his career because he's played more games and he's played for way more teams. And, you know, he's thrived in so many different places. I mean, Vegas, Florida, Montreal, etc. It also doesn't hurt Dallas if this doesn't come to fruition since he's a pending unrestricted free agent this summer. Therefore, he can sign wherever he wants. Gurianov, on the other hand, is a restricted free agent, so he will remain under the Habs' control until things work out. DADANOV also seems like an upgrade for now, so we should really keep an eye on this trade between these two Russian players. So comment down below what you guys thought of this trade. Did the Stars win? Did the Habs win? Comment down below your thoughts. Otherwise, thank you guys for tuning in and have a wonderful day.